So today we're looking at a scenario where another war between China and Vietnam breaks out yet again. Now this is a very, very alternate scenario. This video is unrealistic, by the way. So first, I have the Israel war color and just ignore that. So this takes place after the Russo-Ukraine war is over. We have a Ukrainian victory after receiving help from NATO partners. We um these partners were Poland, Germany, all the Baltic states, um, Finland, Sweden, Georgia. I know they're not in. I know some of these are not in NATO, but they're allies. Um, Moldova. I think I already said that. Kosovo and Bulgaria, and Romania as well, and Czechos and Slovakia, as well as Austria. So after this all happened, we have a very devastating hit to Russia as Japan also decided to invade. I forgot to color them blue, but let's ignore that. So in the end, we have Kaliningrad being split up, and we have Ukraine taking back some of their old territories and annexing all of Belarus. We also have Moldova no longer looking like a PP anymore, as well as the Baltic states being long, as well as Finland being very thick. So now China is extremely weakened by this because during this whole situation they were going through their own little war for themselves. See, Pakistan pulled a bit of a trigger with the Indian border, and sort of just ruined and they ruined everything for China. So Pakistan pulled a trigger and they ended up having to nuke themselves and India, which just got them completely nuked. Good God. Anyways, um, so yeah, Pakistan got Hindu Kush taken away from them. They also got a ton of occupied lands by India. And India took a bit out of China, which they wanted to own. So Afghanistan decided to launch war on Pakistan, and in some godlike universe, Taliban still rules over, but they're actually good. We were bad, but now we were good. And we also have a little bit of a rebel update in Laos and Cambodia with the communist or the CC. Yes, that is their name. I'm not kidding. So with this, we have China after a bit of a border skirmish over China and Vietnam. We have another war breaking out, and so we have China's partners joining in on this, being Laos and Cambodia, as well as the DPRK and even Tajikistan. This prompts Kyrgyzstan to the war, as well as South Korea. Japan decides to come to the aid of South Korea because they're on a bit of a pact, and China also declares war on Taiwan and Hong Kong, as well as Macau because why not? And we also see a ton of Chinese rebels with this, as well as the CC deciding to also do some CC stuff. With this, we also have America joining in, which makes Canada join in, which puts in the pack with the UK, Australia, and New Zealand. With this, we have France deciding to join the war, as well as Slovenia, Czechia, and Kosovo. We also have Nepal and Bhutan joining in on this war to try to get India to join in on, but they're not really keen on it. So first, we're gonna go over to Macau. So Macau is a pretty clean sweep for China, although they are very patriotic. Although the same cannot be said for Hong Kong, who, with some Taiwanese and Japanese aid, is actually able to push out into Chinese territory. And now Taiwan is mainly a defensive country, but they decide to push into the PRC because why not? And connect with a rebellious group 2 times, causing encirclement. Over in the Korean border, if I can select the color. Nope. All right, fine. So over in the Korean border, after not yet actually. We have North Korea pushing down and taking over Seoul for like 6 seconds until they're eventually pushed out by South Korean and Japanese forces. American forces arrive in the Korean Peninsula, and after an extremely brutal crossing of the DMZ, causing the lives of about 1 million. This video is unrealistic, by the way. I gotta say it again. We have the capturing of Pyongyang and a pretty clean sweep of North Korea, as all of its soldiers are pretty diseased, dying, and starving as well with the people. Oh god, oh god. We have a split into North Korea, and eventually they decide to wipe out both fronts of North Korea. After taking the rest of the coastal areas, they are eventually able to find Kim Jong Un's hideout where he is quickly assassinated. Although they decide to bring him back to life and make him a model for magazines. Yes, I don't know why I had to put that in there, but it's probably the most realistic part of this video. Anyway, so over in China, we have the China also clamping down on the CC and it's our occupied territories. Over in Laos and stuff, we're gonna be having a some stuff coming over in Southeast Asia. Yeah. We have Laos being able to split Vietnam into two, and Cambodia decides to do its own little take. They decide to try to invade Ho Chi Minh City, which is the capital of Vietnam. They are swiftly pounded in. Like, good God, oh God, Vietnam, what is that a war crime? Anyways, so after doing some not so family friendly stuff to the Cambodian soldiers and citizens, we have Vietnam crossing into Cambodia. Oh, hey to Vietnam, if you're watching from Vietnam, which you probably aren't, you guys are really cool. I like you, even though we don't have the best history. Yeah, glory to Vietnam. I don't know. I just thought it'd be cool to have an event. So we have Vietnam continuing to push into Kampuchea, or I know it's Cambodia, but I like to use alternate names. We also have the CC taking over the Cambodian territory, which is split in two, and even deciding to have a go into Vietnam. Um, the CC gathers their forces and decides to push in. They're actually able to get a bit farther than Cambodia until they meet a deadlock and a stalemate. Um, Over in the Huma, I don't freaking know. We have Vietnam pushing into their old island, which is now part of China. Sadly, they're able to almost completely take it out, but they're stopped. We also see China gathering forces on the Vietnamese border, and after having to upgrade their helmets because made in China, haha. Like, seriously though, their helmets are terrible. Look it up. We have China pushing into Vietnam. With this, we have a cutoff of Vietnam soldiers and an encirclement, which is very devastating. We have some. We finally have China taking over Hong Kong, and it's very devastating. And they're not too kind to the civilians either. Eventually, we also have a deadlock on the Korean border, the Korean Chinese border. If you're wondering what this green part is, that's Russia. They're not on this war. That's just a territorial dispute with Japan. Over in this just southern Asia, we have Bhutan deciding to push into China, and they do surprisingly well despite having a pretty weak military. But mountains save them. We also have Nepal trying to make some advances in, although they are quickly stopped and actually pushed back. So Nepal's plan is to basically just try to push back in with some Indian support and hopefully get them in on this war to connect the Tibetan rebels, which China is starting to lay their foot on. Over in Jingzhou, we have some even more horrible thing. Oh God, stop China! Please stop China. Um, we have Tajikistan trying to cross into Kyrgyzstan, also known as Xbox Land. Seriously, look at their flag; it's amazing. This goes absolutely horribly wrong, and there's it goes my phone. So I guess we're stopping this video.